We're going to talk about the Arc de Triomphe. There's the Arc de Triomphe, which I think is what, in France or something. De Triomphe. How do you? Where is that? Yeah, France. I assumed that it was French just because of the name, but let me pull that up real quick so people can see. I don't know the history of this or anything, right? I don't really know the history of like what like why this is here, what it represents or anything. So I can't give you a good, analysis of why Trump's version is a desecration of the original or anything like that. But anyway, we're gonna that's the Arc de Triomphe. And now we're gonna move on to the Arc de Trump, which apparently Donald Trump, he was too, like he was put on hold for creating his like Epstein Ballroom, right? The new Epstein Ballroom that was being there. I think that the judge, like a judge said, oh, you need to get some approval or something for it. I don't know if he's even like paying attention to that or not, but that was the last time I heard about the ballroom. So he needed something to hold him over until he could create the Epstein Ballroom. So he decided to recreate the Arc de Triomphe, and he's going to call it the Arc de Trump inside the proposed triumphal arch in DC. Let's go and watch this video.
The United
Oh, also, this is Fox News Channel, so we're going to be having some fun with this one.
The United States Triumphal Arch, which will be an architectural masterpiece to celebrate our history right here in Washington, D.C. And this monumental arch will beam at 250 feet tall in honor of 250 years.
President Trump now requesting an arch to be built in celebration of America's 250th year. Let's bring in exclusively the chairman of the U.S. Commission on Fine Arts, Rodney Mims Cook Jr., who was involved in approving the initial arch proposal. Thank you so much for being here, Rodney. First question, why does the D.C. skyline need this? Why does Washington, D.C. Need a 250-foot tall arch, almost twice the size of the arch in Paris and more than twice the size of the Lincoln Memorial right across the river?
Hi, Peter. Thanks for having me on. Hello from Atlanta. I was glad to see you had our Secretary Loeffler in your screen with the announcement. The number that you just mentioned, it's actually 166 feet tall, and so the press is tending to double it because there's a large statue on top of it. But the building is scaled to the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, not twice the height. The interest of the president to have a memorial there is not a new one. He was given some images that I had created 26 years ago to put something in that very place as well, an arch in that very place, as well as two other sites.
Well, we know why he wants it. He wants it for vanity, for like his legacy or whatever. Like, I don't know. He wants it for the same reason that like presidents want their like libraries or like all that sort of stuff, like he's just a incredibly like gaudy person. So his version of like trying to create monuments to his like likeness and memory is just very gaudy and vulgar, and so that's why he's doing it. And also it's not original. Like why are you just copying the French one and like throwing some like, I don't know, some golden idols on top or whatever? Like
that Pierre Charles L'Enfant intended for the nation's capital. And we've never really had a builder president since Thomas Jefferson. I think it's high time that we have another, and President Trump is ready to go.
God,
and, something
brick by brick, man. One day when Trump's gone, when material conditions worsen, and even the hogs out there are ready to bring up the pitchforks, I say as a bonding exercise between liberals and conservatives, we all march collectively on the triumphal arch, and brick by brick we just tear it down to the ground. We raise it to the ground as the Epstein monument that it is, and we will do this as a bonding experience, and we will all and then after that we make our way to the Capitol, and we have a combined liberal and conservative January 6th. Yeah, how about that, people? Is that okay? Will we all get along after that? I don't know. You know what? I don't know. But yeah, this thing, I mean, honestly, I don't really care that much. This is just another pet project of Donald Trump, and it's a huge waste of money. And you know, I'm going to think that it's gaudy and not like looking at it, but and like just another copycat of, you know, the French one, I guess. But I don't know. Out of all of the things that Trump does, his like weird fixations with like his weird buildings and things, like it's not as bad as the war crimes and atrocities that he's committing, at least. So I don't know. It's keeping him distracted, maybe.
You just said there are two other sites. So we've got a map we can put up. In addition to this triumphal arch, there are sites basically in southwest and southeast D.C. that could serve as gateway arches. Are all three of these going to be built at once?
I haven't had a chance to talk to the president about the other two. He has had other things on his mind when we've spoken, and I am anxious to sit down with him, which he recommended, to go over everything that we need to do and talk about, and then have him tell me yes or no on these other sites. But L'Enfant intended them there, and that is something that I have suggested to the commission. And I need to show them to the president and the L'Enfant plan, not a map like you just showed, but the actual L'Enfant plan, as to what he had in.
This guy seems so bored. Am I wrong? He just seems so bored. He's like, why do I even have to tell you guys this shit? Like, he doesn't even sound excited about, like, I usually when I'm on Fox News, I'm expecting like the people to be like, I don't know, just like crazed enthusiasts of everything Donald Trump. And so his like demeanor and like the just general bored vibes that I'm getting from him are really like really kind of like not what I'm used to.
Intended. And 26 years ago, my foundation had studies for each of these sites, and the president has them, but we haven't had a chance to sit down and talk about it.
And you built something similar to this in Atlanta that we have a picture that we can put up. How long is it going to take to build this?
It took me 3 years to build what you're showing there, the Millennium Gate. That should have been in Washington at Barney Circle, Pennsylvania Avenue, the John Philip Sousa Bridge. And sadly, because of the plane going into the Pentagon, the World Trade Center, then immediately anthrax on the Hill, Washington was not in a posture to have a peace monument. And the intellectual property.
We were so bloodthirsty, we couldn't even have a monument to peace. Wow, that's crazy, dude. That's a crazy, I wasn't expecting that. That was so funny.
Property for that building was so strong that was fanning not only the United States and her architectural prowess and intellectuals that had been involved in creating it, but also the Prince of Wales, now King Charles III, who I used to work for. And so we didn't want to lose all that intellectual property, Peter, and so we put it in my city, a regional capital versus a national capital.
This is the most American shit I've ever heard, dude. We were too bloodthirsty to put the monument where it was going to go, which was going to be, I guess, near the Pentagon or something. And so we couldn't have a peace monument over there. So we didn't want to lose so then America thing number 2, we didn't want to lose the intellectual property of the arch, I guess, or whatever. So we decided to just throw it in Atlanta somewhere. Am I wrong? Is that not the most American shit ever? Like, oh God, okay.
For the millennium. so that we weren't only fixated in America on Y2K and whether or not our computers were going to fail. Everyone else was built.
It's like a time traveler. He's like taking me through all of the major events of like the early 2000s. This is like fun for me. I was not expecting this to be so funny.
We weren't only fixated in America on Y2K and whether or not our computers were going to fail. Everyone else was building, and we should have been doing that too, and ultimately we did. And so the building that we enjoy, where I work every day, is a spectacular asset to Georgia. And Secretary Loeffler actually has received our Millennium Candler Justice Prize there, and I recommend, Peter, that you come down and take a look at it.
Look, okay. I mean, I've tried to stop doing this as much, but like, this guy has such a funny, like, these tiny little glasses, like, just his general demeanor and everything. Honestly, I could not tell the difference between this and, like, a comedy sketch of some guy trying to sell the idea of this, Arc de Trump or whatever, slowly going through all of the calamity of errors that ended up with this other arch ending up in Atlanta somehow. I don't know. This was crazy, man.
If you're inviting us, we will be down there.
Come on down,
and
please.
As we know, it's a triumphal arch. Can't spell triumphal without T-R-U-M-P. So we will be following all the construction. Rodney Mims Cook Jr., thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Peter.
Peter Douchey, man. He's he always, his face is interesting to me as well, but I don't need to get into that. Okay.